guys! Hello. Sun's out. Let's go and loot this place. Really, just stealing from the villagers? Well, since we, like, busted into the villagers' home, I'm gonna assume it's just, like, the villagers in the game, where they're just mindless. Everyone assembled themselves nearby the entrance of the library. Main focus is to find more iron. If you guys found enough, craft a shield for each of you. Obviously. You look for a furnace and smelt the ones I mined. I'll keep an eye out for more, too. And look for food, too. We'll be needing more of it later on. I mean, there's, like, a bunch of hay bales right here. Everyone nods and headed off in various directions. Oh, Jesus Christ, that villager sound was loud. You enter a nearby house to be greeted by a villager who stares at you for a moment before leaving the structure. You shook your head at the random encounter before climbing up the stairs to see a chest in the corner. Ooh, food! Opening it, you're greeted by 4 pieces of bread, 2 iron ingots, and an apple. Smiling, you stash them all into your inventory before heading out. You meet up with Sapnap and George as they both emerge from a nearby house. George approaches you. He gives you a shield and an iron pickaxe to replace your stone. Wait, where did he get... Was it a blacksmith? You noted he is able to make enough for everyone. Turning around, the sound of footsteps approaching, you see Dream returning with more iron ingots and a bunch of buckets in his hand. George also made his way to the blonde, handing him his share of the new iron assets. Dream nodded at him in thanks. Nice. Alright, Sapnap. How many obsidian blocks were in the chest? Oh, so it was a blacksmith. Sapnap pondered for a bit. I think there were 2. Oh, he's talking about the room portal. Dream glasses out the buckets he had with him and handed a few over to George. Alright, George. You go and get water. I'll go ahead and get some lava. Sapnap, I'll stay here and light the new portal up. You stay here and light the new portal up. Did they forget about us again? Dream bounces off to the opposite direction while George walks to a nearby brook. Sapnap walks down the path towards the room portal area. Who do you want to get? Why is Dream not an option? Wait, I just noticed that. Dream's not an option on this. Okay. I feel like I should do George because the past 2 I've already done was with George. So okay, I'm gonna go down George's path. I know there's a bad ending, a romantic ending, and a platonic ending. I don't know which one I'm gonna get. You sped up a bit and caught up with George. He smiles at you as you both fall into step. As you approach the small body of water, George crouches down and scoops up enough water into the bucket. You seem really easy to talk to, Ender. How are you with your friends on your end? They're fine. They're a great bunch. They mean the world to me. Fuck yeah, they mean the world to me. You smile as the thought of your friend group. They always knew how to brighten up your day when it gets too much. You would do anything it takes to make them just as happy. George smiles at this. I love this art! My god, I feel the exact same. I give them everything I have if it meant having the smiles on their faces too. You can hear the fondness dripping from his voice. The other 2 seem to be very dear to him, you conclude. Let's head back. You nod before walking right behind him, following the path back towards the ruined portal. You guys got the stuff? Yeah, we got the stuff. I'm sorry. Everyone raises the needed item, confirming that they all had what they needed. I feel like we haven't done much. Like, we got iron from the chest and we got, like, food, but that's, like, 4 pieces of bread. And, like, we've just been following, like, them around. Like, we haven't really done much. We're just kind of vibing. Dream smiles at this before beginning to call George to the side to help complete the portal all together. You stood by the side as the 3 other members had grouped up together and sped up the portal building process. Once they all finished, Sapnap flickered the stone in his possession and flared the new nether portal to life. What? What? Huh? Huh? Why did they go back to the... What? Just break the... Why did you do corners? What? Why would you... If you had... Okay. Alright. The 4 of you grinned at the success of your first... Oh, what? Okay. The 4 of you grinned at the success of your first half of the plan. Sapnap then glances around to everyone else. So, is everyone ready? Probably not. Dream points to George. Wear your helmet, George. Oh, yeah. George quickly applies the helmet and gave out a thumbs up. We're ready. Sapnap nods and you all usher to the line of blocks right before the portal. You inhale deeply and exhale slowly in attempts to calm your nerves before entering the portal. You peer over to the side to see the other three doing the same. Dreamer then began to count. On three. 1, 2, 3. As Sapnap shouted, all four of you jumped into the portal at the same time. Just falls splat on the other side. After feeling light for a split second, as you threaded through two different worlds, you feel gravity pulling you down as you entered the warmer surrounding. You decide to take a step down from the obsidian platform with the disorientation catching up to you. You had fallen onto your knees and clutched your head. Teleporting from one world to another isn't exactly as fun as it seemed. I mean, yeah. Yeah, they all don't like it either. The other three had simultaneously groaned as they landed. Yeah, hopefully we're never doing this again. I mean, you gotta do that to get back to the overworld and then do it to get to the end. So you gotta do it like 2 more times. Shaking his head, Dream stood up and batted away the netherrack dust that had gone all over him from the fall. You and the other two had followed his lead and did the same. Dream gazes around the view of the endless dripping lava, trying to let the scene sink in. The nether. ... You could hear the dread in Dream's voice as you were about to approach him about before he turned around with a stern look on his face. Gather a bunch of netherrack. We'll all need it. You all nod and split off, and you bounded over to the side, creating a small strip mine to easily gather a big amount of the nearby material. As you mined away, you heard a loud gasp echo from the outside of the cave. Guys! The fortress! It's right here! Oh, what? That is so lucky. You raised your eyebrows in surprise. It was just near spawn? That's so lucky. Yeah, that's so lucky. What the hell? You hurriedly mined a bit more netherrack before running outside, catching up to Sapnap, who had evidently done the exact same. Oh, I already saw blazes. Nice find, Goggy. George seemingly cringes at the nickname, but it was cut off from reacting due to the fact Dream had ruffled his hair. Everyone follows George's lead towards the structure. As your group approaches the nether brick walls, everyone took turns in using the bundles of netherrack to maneuver up an entrance. As you helped each other up the ledge, George gasped as a wither skeleton attacked him. He had managed to bring up his shield in time to block it. George! I'm fine, let's just go. Yeah, just fucking book it. He shoves the mob back as everyone darted off to the opposite direction. Dream points towards a nearby blaze spawner, calling Sapnap to his side. As they both began to form for the near blaze while George was busy defending the area from the other mobs that had followed you. 2 different mobs began to multiply as time passed, and you knew you had to help out somehow. I'm gonna assist George, because he's doing this all alone. You bounded over George as quick as you can, swinging your axe at nearby Wilskins before shoving the others away with your own shield. George looked at you in surprise. Ender, you... yeah, I helped you. He was cut off when 2 more skeletons had bumped against him. You reprimanded him, saying that it wasn't the right time to complain about your split-second choices. He silently nodded, working on defending the other 2 as they handled each other's sides. We have enough, let's go. You all fought your way through the fortress grounds and went to the nearby netherrack field. As you dashed through the terrain, you noticed Dream and the others weren't heading for the portal. You racked your brain as to wonder why, but... Ender pearls, yeah, what? But remember that you needed the easiest and quickest way that you could all think for obtaining ender pearls. That was through piglin trading. Did they get the gold block from the ruin portal? You all looked for a biome that had enough mobs that were available for trading. Dream hollers over to you guys to dig up a hole to surround at least 2 or 3 piglins. George passes his gold helmet over Dream as he tosses gold ingots towards the hog-like humanoids, leading them to the hole you all made. With no gold to pass the piglins' faces, the others begin to run towards everyone else. Sapnap was on one end of the pit, fighting against 2 ghasts that have simultaneously spawned. George was on the other end, fending off piglins and a few wither skeletons that followed your group. Dream, make it quick. I'm trying. Dream! Fend off piglins. Make up your mind, you take long strides towards the older male who seemed to have a tiny bit of trouble fighting off the mobs. You told George you can handle the skeletons and have him run around the area as much as he can to stall time for Dream to make the sufficient amount of trades. I mean, if Dream's the one doing the trades, we're gonna get the ender pearls like super quick. Just saying. Sounds like a plan, Ender. He then began to run around and lead the other piglins away as you exchanged hits with the weird skeletons in front of you. Everything began to overwhelm you from the amount of mobs surrounding all of you to the huge amount of pressure you are feeling right now. Sapnap began to call out, peeved tones sweeping out of his voice. Dream! Dream rolled his eyes. Let's go this way. He was visibly irritated as he was pressured, but hopefully everyone would shrug it off. Shit be tense. Yo bolted towards the nether portal just kind of like pisses me off, because like it's not the like that's so much more obsidian than you really need. Like I don't know. You all bolted towards the right direction to the portal, the one you finally recognized, and gasped in relief when you spotted the familiar purple particles flying into the air. Dream reached it first, not entering the vortex, and instead opting out to take a swing at approaching aggressive pilgrim mob. Get in, now! Without a second thought, Sapnap and George had entered the portal, the body slowly disappearing into the overworld the longer they stayed in. You glanced back at Dream and hesitated. You didn't want to leave him behind. Dream frowned at you. Go! When you didn't budge, Dream had to push you through the portal. Damn, dude! Ooh, I just want to help, my dude! Alright. When you came to, your first reaction was to frantically check your surroundings via the companions. We're here, Ender, we're here. From behind you, you hear Sapnap and George seemingly out of breath. The older of the two was lying on his back whilst the other was seated nearby a grass block, wiping the sweat from his chin. George's voice wavered when he spoke up. Where's Dream? Yeah, the ass kind of pushed us through the portal. Your heart sank when you had to explain what had happened before you teleport back to the overworld. They both frowned at this. Of course he would. We have to go back, see if he's still there. We need to help him. Before the argument could get any bigger, Dream had suddenly appeared into the overworld. He landed on the grass with a harsh thud. Dream! You all rushed over to his side, to which he waved off. Both Sapnap and George helped him up to his feet. I'm fine, I'm fine. Health check, guys. You all weirdly nod before looking up at your own health bars. George says that he has 4 hearts left. Jesus Christ. You and Sapnap have the same amount of 3. Dream only had half a heart. Take the fucking gapple, my dude. Sapnap frowned as George crossed his arms. What happened to being careful, Dream? Legit, though? Dream waved him off as he pulled out a piece of bread to replenish his hunger to regen. All that matters is that we're fine. It was our first and hopefully last time in the nether. Of course, it ended up messy. You're about to hand him your golden apple, but he noticed and stopped you from doing so. I told you, you need it more than I do. You were on half a heart! You stubborn ass! Oh my god. You found but didn't push. You stashed it back into your inventory as Sapnap approached him to craft the Eyes of Ender. As they successfully crafted a few, Dream flicked one up and slowly raises and leaned towards one direction before ultimately plunging to the ground. The blonde catches it right before it lands and double checks to see if it snapped in two. Well, we have our lead. Let's go. You all then fell into step with each other. The walk was quiet, save for the occasional clicking of the Ender eyes that came from Dream. It was a bit too quiet for your liking. Check up on who? We're going on George route, so any injuries, George? You slowed your pace down to match with George's, who was situated on the very end of your little line to follow the leader. The colorblind male had been munching on his share of bread, effectively replenishing his health. He's nodded as he swallows his recent bite. I'm all good, Ender. Thanks for asking. You need anything? The only food I seen you rude was the gapple from way earlier. You shook your head, letting him know that you have your own stash of foods. Yeah, we have like 4 bread. Are we still on 3 hearts? A little bit of silence filled the space between you two before George spoke up this time. So, do you have any questions, like, in general? I just figured that since you've been with us this entire time, might as well get to know each other a bit more. What else do you like to do outside of this? I'm not really interested in talking. What even got you guys into... Actually, yeah, what got you guys into this mess? It was a question that had stayed in your mind ever since you fell into the realm. How did all of this even start? I'm still saying this is a dream. George seemed not to anticipate the question since his cheeks and ears were tinged with rosy pink. About that. It was kind of my fault. Huh?